Good morning, folks. This is Mog here with Mog's Cast. Back at you today. This is episode 4. And what we're going to be doing today, if you saw the previous mini episode, episode 3.5, I was launching a few probes out into space there. We got one in polar orbit around Kerbal, which just for consistency, and we got one around the Mun, which is what we really needed. For today, what we're going to be doing is actually launching up a new lander I've built and land a couple guys on the Mun, and we're going to be getting them ready, basically, to do that. Now, who we've got for crew today is going to be kind of cool for some of you guys out there. I've gone ahead and added the first couple subscriber names to the roster, so we'll be launching with 3 of our folks today: Brinstar, Shroomo Dead, and A-Dub, who are some of our subscribers. Looks like Shroomo Dead is going to be our main commander for the mission here in the middle seat. See, what we've got here is our little launcher. I built this, I've tested it for the most part. Should be pretty good. It's not the full asparagus setup. They all feed into the center tank here, so yes, I'm aware. I didn't end up actually needing the efficiency on this rocket to be the best. It works perfectly fine. So let's get these guys going. What this command pod is going to be doing, what this lander is going to be doing, it's fully equipped. It's got a cathane scanner. It's got a mapping setup, but the mapping is all done at this point. It does have some escape parachutes here just in case, because you never know. You never know. It's got landing lights. It's got the Chatterer mod, so if you guys are familiar with that, that's kind of cool. You might listen for that at points here. But we're going to go ahead and get going here. What the mission of this guy is going to be is coming out there, getting into a stable orbit around the Mun, finding a cathane deposit, and landing at it. What we're going to try to do is actually land near one, near an anomaly as well. I've got my maps pulled up on the other page here, on my other screen, and I'll be sharing those with you once I can figure out a way to do that. I'm pretty sure I'm probably just going to toss them into like a photo bucket album or something, and then link to it in the description, just so you guys can see what we've done with the ISA MapSat mod and the cathane mod, and what those probes have actually achieved for us at this point. As you can see, I'm trying out a few things. I've got parachutes on these parts here. As they separate, they should get pulled back down to safety, and apparently my Separatrons are gone. I had those to pull them away, but I guess we'll see what happens. I'm not totally going for like 100% perfect, no explosions, no waste and stuff, but I'd like to start trying at that. So that's why I've got these drogue parachutes up here to slow down the weight, and then 2 main deploy parachutes here to hopefully catch the rest of it, but we'll see what happens, I guess. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get going here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to be recording up to the first 10K roughly, maybe a little higher, since that's usually right where you want to kind of, that's where most of your risk goes out the door, as far as quick explosions and crashes and deaths that aren't just bad planning. But here we go. We've got liftoff, as you can hear in the back there. You can hear the Chatterer mod kind of going. What it does is, it's got the new version here. We've got, you can actually click this button down here and control the volume, the frequency, and it also, from what I can tell, because I had it shut off and it was still talking occasionally when I would launch, I believe it's actually set up now to talk, to do an auto chatter when something significant happens, like for example, launch. I believe there's probably other ones I haven't paid too much attention past that point, but keep yourself listening if you want to try to figure out when those will chatter off. You can also press the / key to trigger that as well. So let's see. As you may have noticed as well, the landing pod up here isn't exactly in line with the rest of the lower part. It's because the Mark III pod here, the ladder is off-center, so I had to off-center the rest of it to make it straight in comparison to the landing pod, and then use the rest of the rocket here around that, just to kind of like line up ladders and shit properly. Yeah, it's kind of weird. I wish that part was a little more well laid out, but it is what it is. Okay, so whoa, I'm going way past the point I should have been turning. That's my bad. Totally my bad. I know I should be turning a bit earlier than that, but it's Well, that's gonna be a relaunch. Let's go ahead and get these guys back down to safety, because it is totally doable. And it looks like they're probably going to be landing in the water anyway, so we're going to go ahead and fast forward a little bit. And I'm just going to go ahead and cut the rest of this and fast forward it. As you can see, we're going to land. Well, you'll see it because I'll show it. So as you can see here, this isn't going great. I've actually got my rockets going. I wasn't thinking when I disconnected, so it's pushing and the pressure is holding the ship together. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to eject the rest of it and let the parachutes kind of pull this thing away. There we go. So now we're going in for a safer landing. Shut off and just let this thing go. But yeah, as you can see, we're going to be just fine. That was a little snafu getting off there, but it's been a while since I've actually had to do this. I wasn't exactly thinking. You don't want to be doing time acceleration just before your parachute deploys, by the way. Just so you know. And there we go. They're perfectly fine. I've saved you guys, subscribers. I'm not gonna hopefully kill you guys too quickly. So let's go ahead and we're gonna restart this. And what I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna go up higher, because I remember that's actually how I had to fly this thing in the past because of how it's set up, and because I didn't do full asparagus staging, so it's harder to get out of the middle of those rockets without things happening when I detach them. So I go up until they're out of fuel, which is around 15 to 18,000 up, and then I tilt over a bit faster. It puts me in a little higher orbit, but it's not a big deal. And this time I'm actually going to wait for a good moon launch window, because, you know, that's what people actually do. And I am terrible about remembering to do that. So let's take a peek here and see where we are in relation to the mun. So nowhere near. So let's go ahead and rotate around. As you can see, the little thing over there, and then our crow's eye probe here, still going around the Earth, and the anglerfish out there. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so we are ready for launch. Looks like early morning. These guys just woke up. Bren, Star, Shrumo, Dead, and A-Dub back in the command module here, since we did save your guys' lives. You're welcome. Let's get ready. We've got Shrumo Dead here, who's in his EVA right now, doing an inspection of the ship before we go ahead and make the moon burn, or the burn out to the mun, I should say. And safety tip, don't ever want to go right in front of the engines. Doesn't actually matter, but I'm sure that that would be a good thing to not do. And some of you may be curious what these little knobs and everything are here. It's from the struts and from the decouplers and everything being detached. That's what's usually left behind on the connected, when you connect to another piece from this. That little nub will stay there. So it'll be stuck on those pieces. This won't have any on it, because I plan to have this one looking all nice and clean. In fact, I'll double check that. I'm pretty sure that's how that works, but I could be wrong, so I guess we'll see. So yep, we've got our little satellites. You can see all the different modules and things like that on here. There's the chatterer box on there. The new one, a new graphic, a bit bigger from what was on there in the last version. We've got our little mech-jeb pod over here. And I didn't really mention it. This is the Trident. I named it the Trident Lander by Ucky, the United Kerbal Industries. Trident Lander. Mark 1. First design, actually. I had to change like minor things like adding lights and stuff, but perfect. Worked perfectly the first time. Overall, I did have some snafus with the engines and everything smacking into each other, so I mean, I guess if you want to consider that a change of design, there is that. So we're just going to get him back in here. Everybody's freaking out still, which you guys should calm down. And let's go ahead and we're going to fast forward up to the moment here. Look at that. Perfectly timed EVA. Good job, Shroom. Let's get down on the horizon here. And we're pretty close to apoapsis as it is, so we're just going to go ahead and burn. Push out that. Push out the apoapsis that way. Should be perfect for intercepting at this angle. If not, it'll be close enough. We can do some adjustments in flight. It's not a big deal. It's pretty easy to do if you know how to do it. So there was that first. Oh, I'm out of fuel on that main engine, so sweet. Go ahead and separate that stage. These rockets. This is our actual transfer. 211. That's perfect. I'm not looking for anything crazy or on the dot, but that'll get us there. Let's take a look in here. This is what we're working with. I believe I'm in Brinstar's seat at the moment. And this one's A-Dub, sitting over here. Down below, command module, this is Shroom. No windows for you, Shroom. All you got's controls, buddy. Okay, so we're getting ready to do our capture burn. I think that's what that's called. Where you readjust your burn to get captured by the gravitational pull of the planetary body you're coming into contact with. Look at that. Pretty much right on. That's brilliant. Let's get ready for this. Looks like a 20-second burn. That's nothing. We're burning off 309. What is that called? Well, 309 meters per second of velocity, but delta V, I believe, is the proper way to look at that. So, just so you know, today I learned. If I have informed you wrongly, just let me know in the comments. I would love to learn. So, come on. Looks like a little hang up there. There we go. So yeah, once again, what we're doing here is we're coming in along the equator, the equator on the moon, because it's usually the easiest to gauge landings from, and there's lots of cool stuff on here. One of the other things I was going to go over today was some of the upcoming planned features for the next version of Kerbal Space Program. If you guys pay attention on the forums, great. You've probably heard this. If not, maybe I can be the first to tell you some of the, at least planned for the next version. That doesn't mean it's 100%, but some of the things they have that they want to get released for this next update, which I don't know if it's going to be 1.9, and any updates in between wouldn't be considered that full release. I don't know entirely how this planned features Wikipedia page is set out in that manner, but they want to get things like flag planting, so that you're able to take flags or just have a key or whatever that would allow you to plant a Kerbal flag on the surface of different planets or moons, so that you can be like, yeah, that'd be sweet. But what I'm hoping is with that feature, if you're able to plant that, I kind of hope it would leave like an icon, so that when you're flying over things, you can kind of mark like different like monoliths or archways as you find them, so that you know where they are, and like rename your flags to kind of give you an idea. So it's kind of like leaving like a Kerbal there, or like a command module that you can have name that'll be persistent, so that you can find things again easy enough, which is kind of what we're doing with this lander. And we'll bring you guys back. This has more than enough fuel to get you guys home, by the way. I'm not going to leave you stranded here, and I'm hoping to actually pick you up later with another ship and then bring you out to the moon station for the time being, once we get to that point. And then we'll send you guys off on your own missions from there. And if you guys would like to request missions for your guys to do, by all means, drop me comments in the videos or comments on my channel, or just send me a message. That's fine too. In the future, we're going to be definitely doing some pretty cool stuff. I want the next one to be landing, or at least sending out a probe to Minmus, just to say we've been there, and get that all mapped up. I don't think I'm going to create much of a station there. I might put down an unmanned lander. I think there's a couple anomalies out there too. I guess we'll find out once we do our probe. I'd like to get some stuff down there and check those out. I actually, for the first time yesterday, when I was doing some testing of some different ships in the simulator, I actually came across my first Easter egg on the Mun. The Neil Armstrong Memorial I went and visited. It was the first time in this game that I've actually been able to get out. Well, it's the first time I've actually tried much to actually get out to one of those Easter eggs. And I was kind of glad it was the Neil Armstrong one. Guy was an amazing guy, and it's only right that there's a homage to him in this game. But let's go ahead. You guys have heard me talking a lot, so I'm just going to go ahead and fast forward up to our burn spot as I go over some of the other things that are planned for the next update here. So 20 seconds, I want to aim for about 10, 11, just to give time for my engines to spool up. So we're coming in there. One of the other features that they've got planned for the next release is the ability to repair certain things. I don't know what that entirely means. All it says is repairing. The ability to repair certain things is exactly the wording they use on this Wikipedia. So I'm hoping that'll be like, if you bust off a solar panel, maybe you'll be able to repair it. Small things like that. If your engine is busted but you still have the part nearby, maybe you can reattach it, or things like that would be great. I think that'd be really cool. Or what I would actually ideally like to see is being able to like take parts off of a ship and then put them onto another ship, so that you could effectively rebuild a new ship. Like if you crashed, maybe you could take your pod in a small tank and an engine and get yourself back home. If you destroyed your pod and that chatterer's going nuts. I might quiet him down just a bit. So shut up. As it's supposed to kind of reflect like the command center talking to your vessel, I would assume. I've also been testing another cool ship that I think you guys will like, based off an idea I saw on a thread on the forums. It's a small ship. Well, it's actually a pretty large ship. It's a really slow ship. It's based on the ion engines, and so really highly efficient engines, just not much thrust. And what I'm doing is actually building. I'm looking at it like a ship, like an old like sailing ship. Huge arrays of solar panels, like sails, and then a bunch, like a cluster of ions in the back. Big ship using 2.5 meter parts, and I'm calling it the Solar Sailor. What I'm going to be doing is I've launched a full one up before on one go, in a single launcher. And I've had some issues overall getting the thing to work well. I mean, I've actually got it into orbit and flown around a bit. It is really slow, but it's kind of cool that you can just be like, yeah, this thing can pretty much go for ages. But what I'm doing this time is actually launching it up in pieces and docking it all together in space. So doing the construction a little bit easier, launches less chance of failure just because of crazy unruly weight and all that. But that's what I've got planned for the future. That should be a fun one to do, I think. Hopefully you guys will enjoy that. If you have any ideas, let me know. I'm more than happy to always hear those. So let's pull up our map here. And we're going to also bust this thing out just to see where we are. So we're about right here. Probably just passed over maybe this. So we're probably going like around over this way. Coming around. Turn on my anomalies. I'm kind of thinking... This is... I don't really want to give it away too much as to what things are what. I only know one of them. But, get that there. I think I'm going to try to land it near this anomaly. Here, if that's within this. I think it's going to be pretty close to this Cathane field. I might land... I'm going to definitely land in the Cathane field, and then we'll see about getting out to this sometime. I don't think it'll be this episode, but that's what I'll be shooting for. So let's go ahead and fast forward a bit as we go around the mun here. Open up on the other side. Oh, that's going to be in the dark. We're going to go ahead and fast forward a bit. So let's go ahead and get retrograde. And I am still moving forward. Okay, trying to get retrograde. And we are going to burn down to our landing spot. When you're doing this, you always want to burn ahead, like leave your trajectory up ahead because of the rotation of the moon. And then we're going to also burn a little south. Mech Jug trying to slow us down in our rotation, so that kind of keeps things in control if you know how to fight against it. I shouldn't be using RCS, what am I doing? I don't have much of that left. Okay. Let's plan for that. Hopefully, I've got that pegged on about where that Cathane is. We shall see. I might actually have to end up burning a little north to find it. I think we've got a decent amount of fuel, so I think we can do that without too much trouble. You know what, I'm actually just going to go ahead and burn back north, just to keep this thing straight. So there we go. And I'm actually going to push this this point. I don't know what this is called. Contact point? Who knows? Whatever. Projected landing? I don't know if there's an actual term for this. But we're going to be pushing that back out a bit just so that I can, so that I can kind of hopefully get a little more time to find that Cathane deposit. So you want to line up with your prograde, and then since you're heading back into altitude, you're going to pull it back up. I believe is how you're going to do this with most efficiency. Actually, there's probably a more efficient way to do that. Probably heading straight up would be most efficient, but whatever. Shut that off. Actually, you know what? I do kind of want that up just to see where I am. And I want to be sitting on the retrograde, which is this way. We don't need much monopropellant. I guess it's fine that I'm using this. Once you get down to the last pod, it's really maneuverable without, so I should be just fine. Because of the torque. this a little down so we can actually see what we're doing. Oh, that was one thing I kind of wanted to put on here, was a couple of cameras. That laser camera mod is actually really darn cool. I'm digging it. It's so cool that you can get those little windows in Windows. Let's go ahead and fast forward a bit. Wait for my dude to pop up on this side. Oh, looks like we found some. Must be this tail end of that. So that must be equator, like right here. Pop out. Hopefully we'll click one of these. I really hope. Oh, never mind. That's not an actual deposit they found. Just clicking, because that's what apparently that thing does. So if we watch this, this'll update once we've gone over some cathane. So we're coming in here, getting a little closer. Oh, there we go. So let's get back on retrograde and pretty much just drop. There we go. It's pretty much right near this canyon, looks like. This little lunar scar. Okay, we're coming in nice and good. I'm gonna bust out surface info because that will actually give me my actual altitude, which is very helpful for landing. There we go. Pretty much dropping straight. And we are right over cathane still. So get rid of that. Actually, how far am I from that anomaly? Pretty darn far. That must be... So I'm actually going to hold on to this tank until we're pretty close. We can't use it for, well, we might be able to actually land with it on there and just balance on the engine, but I don't want that. I want to use as much fuel out of it as I possibly can, and then drop it far enough up so that it still explodes before landing, so that our landing pad will be clear, but we'll still have the most fuel possible. Let's see. Put all the monopropellant in this tank, so I still have it, because we don't need it at this point. But just in case. Better to have and not need, right? And I did bring some solar panels just so that we have power, and a couple batteries to stay powered. Just so you guys know, I've actually planned this out, as unlike some folks. But and I've also got this little guy here that's giving us some consistent power even in the dark. So let's go ahead and bring this on down. Now, one rule that I've heard people mention is when you're about 10K up, you want to be going about 200 meters per second is a decent place to be sitting as far as progress and safety. So I'm going to start a slow burn, get that back down to around the 200 while still falling. So we're actually about 7,000 up. So I'm just going to go ahead and kill that real quick. And at about 5K, I'm going to eject this. I'll eject that.
One of us here, boy. No,
Gear. 4K up. 4 kilometers up, that is. 4,000 meters. And we're going good speed. I don't need this. So we are still good on that. So let's go ahead and deactivate those. Coming in about 2K, just a hair over. And looks like Shroomo dead. Brinstar, you guys are happy. A-Dub's a little worried. What are you doing, Alex? Come on, let's see. Less than 1,000 up. Go ahead and kick those in. Drop that speed. And did everything explode? Everything except the engine. Looks like that's floating away. Oh, too much thrust. We don't terribly need these lights, but keep them on anyway, just for safety. We chose to land in the day, which is always a smart thing to do. Much easier to land in the day. About 150 meters up. Bringing up the throttle just a bit to slow that a little. Don't want to slow it all the way just yet. Just a slow crawl. These are those heavy-duty legs. It's a bit of weight that they're holding for a lander, but it can actually take a pretty sizable speed on land, but not always a good practice. Damn lateral motion. There we go. We are landed, and we are hopefully ready to go. Yep, we are still over Cathane, so this is a good marker for our next missions, where we need to actually get miners down here and to keep our stationary fuel up in orbit. So good job, guys. Shroomo dead, Mr. Pilot over here, bringing it home. So let's go on a little spacewalk before we end the mission here and open up everything. We got our communications array. We'll just go ahead and, yeah, we'll bring this down to minimal. We don't need them talking to us all the time, but keeping in contact is always good. We've got our lights on. Let's deploy our ladders and get one of these guys out. Or let's go with all three. You guys want to see you guys want to walk in the mud, right? Why don't we rename this too? We are a lander. And this is Trident. Nice. Now, somebody's probably going to mention, maybe not one of you guys, but sooner or later I've seen folks mention dumb stuff. This parachute here is here for a reason. It's for when I go back to Kerbal, get these guys home safe in this same capsule. It's not for landing on the Mun. That's not why I have it. And point of reference, you cannot use parachutes, or at least they won't do you any good in a zero gravity atmosphere, or a zero atmosphere planetary body. So using them here isn't gonna do nothing. I've heard people be like, why don't you deploy your chutes? It'll save you. And no, it really won't on somewhere like this. And there we go. Who did I pull out? Who was the first one to sit, or to get foot on the moons? The Mun. I didn't even look. Let's find out. There's that engine. Looks like, yeah, it was Brinstar. Brinstar was the one to get first feats. He's our Neil Armstrong. Shroomo Dead was our pilot. A-Dub is our science officer. So he is going to jump out second. Turn on all of our... Actually, he won't be turning those on, it looks like. But Mr. A-Dub here, you're going to go collect some moon rocks. And apparently fall on your face, or on your back of your face. Oh. What? How doing nothing. I'm just not standing on your head. Oh, I stepped off. Can we make a Kerbal totem? We shall find out. Dun 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 dun. Lights. Camera. Action. Can I switch targets while moving? What is this crap? Oh, this thing is falling. Well, we're just going to in-flight on this engine just because it's buggy. Tracking station. Pop back up here. Go to Brinstar so we can turn on your lights. And as we load in here, and then Shroomo Death's going to be coming in to finish this totem. Shroom. Just going for it. Just jumping. Ballsy. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Oh no! Screw it, we did it. Get these guys back in the ship, and we'll get everything all set up. And then we're going to go ahead and end the mission for the day. And I'll be doing another one tomorrow morning and getting that edited and hopefully posted by sometime Sunday night. And so you guys will have 2 episodes this weekend, 3 if you want to count the partial, the 3.5 episode, Launch of the Probes. Which, the one flying around here, in case you didn't see, this is the anglerfish, the one that mapped the mun for us to let us find this spot, our anglerfish. The reason I named it anglerfish is because moon holds sway over the tides. Figured it should be water related, so anglerfish, whatevs. Kind of lit the way for the lander here, and got us all our info that we might need, helped us explore. Pretty sure the anglerfish isn't exactly the best title for a probe like that, but hey, I don't care. I know some of these are kind of pointless to have on here, but it is what it is. I want them all. So there we go, we got our lights, got our small lights. This is from one of the mods I have. Also, a note that reminds me, talking about mods, I've just reinstalled the Home mod. If you guys are familiar, it's a really cool mod set. I had it once before the newer updates came out. It gives you some parts for making like very cool visual like base stuff. I made a moon base with them, a mun base with them before. There's like a habitation module, a power plant, a little garage module, which is cool. You can like put a little rover in there. I think it's built for the DEMV5, the Ant, but I mean, it's a little garage, it's got space. You can put other small ones that you build yourself in there too. It won't take a huge one or nothing, but you can definitely put something in there and it closes up. It's got some airlocks which inflate, which looks really cool, I think. The habitation module has, apparently it functions like a command module maybe, or at least like a pod of some sort that you can put Kerbals in, but I have yet to figure out how that actually works, because it's got like a door you can click on that looks like it should hold Kerbals, but apparently like I haven't found a way to be able to get into it. So if you guys have any info on that, that'd be cool. See if we can actually use it to house Kerbals. Otherwise I'm going to be putting a hitchhiker's pod up on top for living space, those kind of things. But that's going to be one of the plans here once we get ready to start building an official base. I'm going to try to kind of keep it all together depending on how laggy it gets once we get too many things down there. But if you guys have any suggestions on where to land, what to land near, let me know. post them in the comments. And as always, it would be great if you'd like the videos. Helps get more recognition out there, more subscribers, that kind of thing, which helps keep folks motivated to make videos, which is always good if you guys are enjoying things. So there we go. The landing of the Trident lander has gone superbly well thanks to our Captain Shroom Oded, our Science Officer Adub, and our something else Officer Brinstar. First Kerbal on the Mun. So congrats there. Wasn't exactly planned, but congrats. And we will see you guys tomorrow.